Open up your MTT and we're going to do final exam review number 3. In order to solve this first problem, we're going to be looking for the question, when do we subtract? The answer is never. What do we do instead? We add a line and change the sign. And now we're going to go ahead and rainbow. So it's going to be negative 4a plus negative 12 plus negative 2a. So you'll notice that we did not rainbow the negative 2a because it was not inside of the parentheses. Now that we've rainbowed and we have our like terms, we're going to collect our like terms. So we have a's here and we have a's here. Negative 4a and negative 2a is going to give us negative 6a plus negative 12. Because we have a plus negative, we're going to have an or. It's going to be negative 6a minus 12. Alright, when we find the perimeter, we're looking for the distance on the outside of the shape. So we're going to add up all of the sides. 3y plus 4 plus 3y plus 4 plus 5r minus 9. Again, we're going to look for like terms. So we're going to start out with all of our y's, and we have 6 y's, but now we also have an r over here. So what we want to do is look for the one that starts alphabetically. So let's start with our r's. It's going to be 5r plus 6y, and then we're going to go ahead and collect up our like term constants. So that's going to be 4 plus 4 is 8, plus a negative 9 is going to be minus 1, negative 1. To find the measure of an interior angle of a pentagon, you're going to use the formula n minus 2 times 180 divided by n. And in this case, n is the number of sides of the figure. Now you may want to pause the video right now and copy down the names of the figures and the sides, the number of sides they have, if that would help you for your final exam. We're going to go ahead and do a pentagon, and a pentagon has 5 sides. So we're going to put it into our formula. 5 minus 2 times 180 all over 5. So this is going to be 5 minus 2 is going to be 3 times 180 divided by 5. That's going to give us 540 divided by 5, which is going to give us 108 degree angle. To find the measure of an interior angle of a hexagon, we're going to use the formula n minus 2 times 180 divided by n. In this case, our n is going to be 6. So it's going to be 6 minus 2 times 180 divided by 6. 6 minus 2 is 4 times 180 divided by 6. That's going to give us 720 divided by 6, which means each angle is going to be 120 degrees. Now we're going to reflect some points over some axes. So the first thing that you're going to do is find the ordered pair. Negative 3, 1. Negative 3, 1 is going to be right here. And we're going to reflect it over the x-axis, which is here, which means we're going to stand on the x-axis and we're going to go the exact same distance but the opposite direction. So to reflect it over the x-axis is going to put it right here. So now our ordered pair is negative 3, oops, let's get that negative in there, negative 3, positive 1. The next one we're going to reflect is 2, 4 over the y-axis. So we're going to find 2, 4, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 2, 4, and now we're going to reflect it over the y-axis. So again, we're going to stand on the y-axis and we're going to go the same distance but in the opposite direction. So we went 2 over to the right, so now we're going to go 2 over to the left, and now that's reflected over the y-axis. So my new ordered pair is -2, +4. Okay, now we're going to reflect, and let's take off this negative here. Oops. We're going to reflect -4, 2 over the x-axis. So we're going to take -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and go 2. And now we're going to reflect it over the x-axis. So we're going to stand on the x-axis. Instead of going up 2, we're going to go down 2. And so now our ordered pair is -4, -2. Just a reminder that when you're finding the volume of the barn-shaped figures, which means it's a figure that's made up of 2 different shapes, you're going to find the volume of the triangular figure, triangular prism, first. Then you're going to find the volume of the rectangular prism, second. And then you're going to add them together. All right, let's look at probability. There are 4 blue marbles in the bag, 2 red and 5 green. We're going to find the probability of choosing a blue and then a red without replacing the marbles. So the first thing that we're going to do is find our denominator. To find our denominator, we're going to add 4 and 2 and 5 to find out how many marbles are in the bag. So with that, we're going to have, it looks like 11 marbles in the bag. And then we're going to find the probability of choosing a blue marble. So that's going to be 4, because there's 4 blue marbles. Now, when we go to choose the second marble, you're going to notice that there are no longer 11 marbles in the bag, but there's 10 marbles in the bag, because we already took out 1 blue marble. Now we're going to find the probability of red, which is going to be 2. So we're going to go ahead and multiply straight across, and that's going to give us 8 over 110. And of course we're going to simplify that, and that simplifies to 4 over 55. And that's going to be our probability using a fraction. We also need to change it to a decimal, so 4 divided by 55 is going to be 0.072. So we're going to go ahead and move that 2 places to the right. And since it's a repeating decimal, we're going to round to the nearest tenth. So it'd be 7.3% is my probability. Now we're going to find the probability using a deck of cards. A deck of cards has 52 cards in it. It has 13 hearts, 13 diamonds, 13 spades, and 13 clubs. It has an ace, a king, a queen, a jack, and then it has numbers 1 through 10. To find the probability of picking an 11, we need to figure out how many cards are in the deck total, which is going to be 52. And there are 4 11s in the deck. An 11 of hearts, 11 of diamonds, 11 of spades, and 11 of clubs. So we're going to take 4 and put it above the 52, and then we're going to simplify. So 4 goes into 4 once, and 4 goes into 52 13 times. So the probability is going to be 1 over 13. To change 1 over 13 to a percent, you do 1 divided by 13, and that's going to give you 0.7. Let's go ahead and just make it into a decimal, so it's going to be 7.7%. To find the probability of a king or a jack, we're going to put the 52 in again, because there's 52 cards. There's 4 kings and there's 4 jacks, so that's going to be 8. Simplify that. 4 goes into 8 2 times. 4 goes into 52 13 times, so now we have 2 13ths. And on the calculator, 2 divided by 13 is going to give us 15.4%. To find the probability of hearts, there are 13 hearts in the deck, so it's going to be 13 over 52. And 13 goes into 13 once, and 13 goes into 52 4 times. which is going to give us 25%. All right, now we're going to go ahead and find 32% of 50. To do that, we're going to change the percent to a decimal. So we're going to move the decimal 2 places to the left. So it's going to be 0.32. Change the word of to a multiplication sign. And actually, let's go ahead and we're going to use our parentheses and then 50. So when we multiply 32 times 50 on our calculator, we're going to get 16. All right, now we're going to solve and graph. So first we're going to rainbow. So negative 4x plus negative 20 is less than 12. Is the variable on the left? It is. Is it by itself? It's not. So we're going to go ahead and zero pair out the 20. So negative 4x is less than 32. Is the variable on the left? It is. Is it by itself? It's not. So we're going to divide because that's multiplication. Divide both sides by negative 4. So x is going to be, and this side's going to be 8. So now we see that we have our minus men. So we're going to have x is greater than 8 because we're dividing by that negative 4. X is greater than, actually, it's x is greater than negative 8. So let's go ahead and graph. So we're going to have 0, and we have negative 8, and we have positive 1. It's greater than, so it's going to be an open circle. And a number greater than negative 8 would be negative 7. So it's going to be all of the numbers on the right. So remember, we're using our minus men, which is going to change that inequality. And that's the end of our final exam review 3.